Includes Dr. Evans' new devotional messages from the
What's up, guys? Good morning. I actually slept pretty good, believe it or not. I was, let me give you an adjustment here. Oh, Crockett, get you go, Crockett. Yeah. I don't know. It's really hard because I'm misunderstood, completely misunderstood. I believe the exact same thing that Christians believe, except that I don't believe we're supposed to be waiting just because Jesus said any time will do. And I don't think that Jesus should have been killed because of what Paul said. If the leaders of the time had known this, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. And the thing that I feel that they don't know or didn't know or whatever are the, sorry, trying to adjust this little tripod thing here. It's crooked. It's going to bug me. Still crooked. Here, I'll do it this way then. Make my leg longer. How's that? Come on. Oh, are you kidding me? Are they all the same? It must be. Why am I crooked? I don't like it. There we go. Anyway, yeah. And as far as Jesus being killed, that was a mistake. That was like not a good thing to do. He was, and what he was saying at the time when it turns into, when the Son of Man returns and all of that, that's his spirit coming back to get into somebody, and that's what the problem is. It took when he said, "Will the Son of Man find faith?" People don't realize what he was saying. He was literally saying that whoever shows up after him with that call, are they going to be able to just whatever? Because it is. This is the most faith challenging thing that I've ever been involved in. And I mean, because, and it's different. Most people would have a problem with, you know, hanging on tenaciously to their faith, and they'll blame it on reasons like they don't understand, right? I didn't know this, or there was something I had to trust in advance in order for that faith to work. I don't have any of that. I see God like a machine. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. When I say that I can use this to explain our God all day long, all day long. What is everything? Okay? That's everything. Who's in charge of that? Well, how do you make him in charge of good and evil? You cut the thing in half and you make one side good and one side evil. And he has rules that apply to both sides. Those rules cannot be broken. That's what Jesus was talking about. And so all of his teachings are misunderstood. We killed our Messiah. The place is on a train wreck for like 2,000 years. We got rocks flying around that are threatening our existence in outer space. Do you realize what would happen if our world like worked together on these types of projects? How much is it going to cost to rebuild Gaza? Could we have directed those funds in a different way? You know, that's the problem. We don't ask, like, hey, we're not getting our fair share, and there's no way to kindly approach somebody and say, hey, I deserve a life too. I deserve everything that everybody else enjoys over here. What the hell makes me any different? Because I don't make as much money now as everybody else. They're throwing people in jail for being homeless. Are you kidding me? You got to be kidding me. How do you take somebody who you think somebody wants to live out there? I don't, yeah, we got big problems in this place, and it all stems from love. It's like, let me ask you, is there any, has the world changed so drastically? Now, I'm referring to production wise, right? I'm a manager. All right, I'm a manager. If I look at all the produce and all the trees and everything that's been going on in this world, is there any less food anywhere? No. It's all sitting there, but it can't get to where it needs to go because of why? because of this. Why? Why do you continue to beat on each other? It's like just, and there you go. See, so then I can bust in Isaiah and I can read like 5 sentences and go, oh yeah, it's the same shit, man. And it's disappointing for me. It's so depressing because I wake up and I look in there and I go, if they just would have done what he said, I would have been born into like, wow, I can't even imagine. You know, I mean, I'd realize there wouldn't be like a giant party just for me showing up, but there would be enough of one of respect for love. I mean, it would be such a different place. Your eyeballs are intended to show you evil. Do you realize that? Do you know what you're supposed to do with evil? You're supposed to fix it, love it, not destroy it. Feed your enemy, pray for your enemy, clothe your enemy. All, you know, remember, it all came as one pile and then it got split. And all it is this half is done. This half needs to be worked on so they can hook back up. We divided it. We decided when we took of that fruit, that was a very bad thing that we did because we enabled our minds to be able to judge. Okay? That's what happened. Our brains got turned on so that we could go, this is good, right? Try it out. That's really, really good. And then what happens? And then you go, you know, that would be really, really good with some of this. And then what happens? There comes some of that and then some more of that. And before you know it, you're getting kind of loose. You're not stepping up to the plate. Maybe lazy. Worse, maybe you're fearful. Maybe you're starting to realize that you can't move and protect yourself as much as you could. And what do you protect yourself with? That book, the law, Jerusalem, the teaching of peace. If you're in Jerusalem and you're an agent of peace, who's wrong if they're stepping up? In the long run, he will. Because you will basically have proven, as I would, as being a Marine Corps veteran, if you were to throw me out there to try and fight right now, the only thing you're going to give me to be of any use and of lasting efforts in your battle is to give me a microphone. If you give me a weapon, there's only one person I have rights to take out, according to my God, and that's myself, to lay down my own life. And I guess if I'm not going to fight, you're not going to force me to go and spill more blood. It's time for me to go. Yes. Karl Marx. No. See, that's the problem. Too many of these people that you discuss like that, they were against. I'm not against anybody. You have to be for everybody. For you. If you're against anybody, that's where your conflict is. So you, by calling me Karl Marx, have just demonstrated that you're against me, which means in the least shape scenario, we can't work as a team. We're working against each other, right? That's what they make bookends for, to hold the whole thing together. But you can grab any individual portion out of the middle of it, and it means whatever it means, independent of where it started and where it came from. It's sitting in the middle somewhere. You know, if it's a complete thing, like a computer program, like, you know, a computer program where I grab this thing and I start going through lines of code. And you know what I keep seeing in this book? Keep seeing an if-then statement. If, then. And as a computer programmer, I'm telling you, the shit ain't breakable. You can't break it. It's sitting right in front of our faces, like a word problem for math. Now, you want to call it God, divine, whatever. I don't give a crap what you want to call God. That book has our world in its grip, doesn't it? What are they fighting over on the other side of the planet? That's the great sword that took peace from the earth. Maybe we should resurrect Ford and they can produce red Mustangs. And just to mock us, our God can make us all drive around in red Mustangs. Every last one of us. You know what that would be like? You'd be going, hey, hi. Oh, that's not Jimmy. Oh. Yeah. See what happens when everybody's the same? It doesn't work. But you have to accept each other for your differences as well. Good morning. This is how a Marine does it. You would not believe some of the drunks I got on when I was in the Marine Corps. It was bad. There was one time I was gagging so bad. I had you know that the thing that hangs down to the back of your throat, the uvula, that shit was laying on my tongue, on the back of my, it was all stretched out for me, just going, just trying to clear it out, you know? Oh, that was a crazy night. I mean, I'm not kidding. There was, you can research some of this stuff because some of these people are out there still. Like the guy who threw the party, he's kind of famous actually, lives in Arizona, keeps away from everybody, but his name's Clay Chef. Like a like a clay cook or baker or whatever, right? And but he's a cartoonist, so he makes cartoons and stuff. And he had this cartoon character that was called Floon, the god of party. I'll answer your question about Christianity in 2 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay, a minute. But it was called Floon, Flon, the god of party. And he was, and the funny thing is he looked like, I don't know, man. He had like lumps and he looked like a leper. He had lumps and bumps and whatever, but he was kind of built, kind of sturdy and whatever. And it was weird because all the chicks just loved him. Everybody loved this guy because he was laughing all the time. The seed of Abraham, laughter. And everybody, like, so it was like that was what the comic was about, you know. The guy would show up and it was like tragedy going on and he would just show up and the place would just come back to life, right? We went to, if you've ever seen the movie The Great Santini, where they're in there and just like destroying the place and all hell's break, that was us, man. That was HMH 462. They call us Screw Crew because we would always get screwed with the worst missions. You want to know what our mascot was? A double-headed dragon. Remember, every monster has 2 heads. And you're looking at one of them right now. Do I kiss my, you know what? I wish I could kiss my mom. I just watched The Great Santini's a sad movie in the end because he dies. He's a Marine Corps pilot. And, oh, he's miserable to his family. I'm not kidding. Let's see. It's 5:45 here. You ready? In my neighborhood. You ready? From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Get up, my little pigs! Yawn, yawn! It's time to rise and shine! Take over the world! You rice pickers! Boom! You gotta have some oomph in you. But in a kind way. If your oomph causes you to hit somebody, you oomph too hard. But Great Santini's sad because he dies in the end. Like I said, he's miserable. He beats on his kids and he snaps and he's just sitting on the edge just waiting. Because why? He's an animal that's in a cage for one purpose, to go out and kill people when that time comes. Right? That's how it goes in the Marine Corps. It's like this. Yeah. Take them out. Yeah. You need anything? Yeah, Neil said the same thing, smartass. Yeah, we'll give you all the guns you need. All right, yep, bye. Boom. And then it's on. And now it's technology. It's coordinates. Things flying from who knows where. Isn't it funny that they asked for your coordinates for your house when they took the census this year? Does anybody remember that? When they took the last census, they wanted the coordinates of your home. Bring it! I'm ready. Where's my drone? How come nobody loves me? I feel pretty damn important. Come on, try and blow me up. Idiots, you're wrecking everything. You want Kim Jong-un to be happy? Take that man like, I don't know, probably a couple pieces of grapefruit. There can't be much of it up there. I lived there before. Okay? It's cold as hell. It's a miserable place. When I was there, they didn't even have toilets where I was. I'm not kidding you. I had to take a dump in a little hole in the ground. You know? You got these, you know, indigenous folks that are 4 feet tall or whatever, and they're squatting over these things, reading papers, smoking cigarettes. They got the balance figured out, right? And maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's the trick to taking a good dump. Maybe that's why we got taller, because those people could squat down and in a moment of relief and perfect balance, gracefully evacuate what their body needs to get rid of, where the rest of us are, and then that little hole gets tighter, and you push harder, and you keep trying. Pretty soon you're trying to push from the other direction because you just want what's in there to come out. Yeah, no toilets. And the heating system there was awful. Why? They used coal. Everything was coal. They had um like stoves set up everywhere, you know. And so the whole place, to me, I know I would get used to it eventually, and I did. I started to get used to it, but you got to imagine, I don't like the smell of sulfur. I don't like the smell of sulfur and matches. That smell is just gets to me. I would, if we were in a party and you were going to light the candles on my birthday cake, I'd rather you didn't light them. Or I run off to the store and buy you a gold-plated lighter just for the purpose, so that you didn't have to strike a match. That's how that smell bothers me. I have a great sense of smell. If you're in my neighborhood and I'm downwind of you, you're in 5 houses over smoking a cigarette. If I go outside, I'll smell you smoking that cigarette. Anywhere in my neighborhood. That's how my sense of smell is. It's really sharp. I have a very sharp. I can smell metal. Like I can smell rust. Like and so what happens is when you smell blood, I can smell the iron that's in the blood. Like if I take blood and smear it on my fingers, cut myself, and then smell it, I can fully just smell the iron in there. It's crazy. It smells like rust. It's weird. um, I don't know. I don't see any reason to keep fighting here. We're it's a losing battle, right? But am I a Christian? Not in the contemporary sense. Like I said, Jesus did not have to die. I can prove that. I can prove that using the scriptures. Okay. Um, People think that there's a gap in the beginning of Genesis, because the first 2 lines, in the beginning and now, the second verse starts with a conjunction that says now. It connects that second verse to the first. And the first verse says when he began, or in the beginning, or however, whatever God did, after he did it, now the earth is destroyed. That's how it reads. Elohim created, now the earth is destroyed. That's what it says. And people think that, no, there's something, we don't understand what went on there. And it's like, no, that's what creating is. That's why we're not supposed to create. Creating is taking something and deciding to, and purpose. That's why, perhaps a lie like Rahab. There's things that under the law look like they're bad, but spiritually, your intention, your purpose, right? If you're Jewish, I'd say, what's your inclination, right? What is driving you? Is it free? Are you working for you, or are you working for our God? Work for him. The pay's better. Great retirement plan. Um, Study war no more. Yeah, it's a good gig. Trust me. So it's like, am I a Christian? Yes. I believe that Jesus Christ was the Messiah. Do I believe that he had to be killed for us? No. Because in the essence of the law, while he had to fulfill the law, we didn't have to help him fulfill it. Did we? Are you under the law or not? Did you have to help him fulfill the law by killing him? Are you under the law or not? That's how Jesus taught. And that's how I teach. I'll tell you what he wrote on the ground, God. Boy, it's so simple. He was trying to save his own ass and the woman that was with him. They were going to stone him. So what did he do? I'm going to use Jerusalem, the teaching of peace, to defend me. And he wrote 2 laws on the ground. He wrote Exodus 21:12. Okay? Let's read those verses. And I just happened to open it up to, accidentally, never any bookmarks. Numbers 9:11. 9, they knew about numbers in this book when they busted it into chunks. That verse 9:11, I'll tell you what it's going to be about before I even speak. You ready? The number 9 indicates that verse is going to be a powerful verse. It's going to be like teetering at the edge, ready to become good. But because there's an 11 in there, which is it's like 10 would be good, 9 and 11 are on either side of that. Watch this verse. You ready? This is Numbers 9:11. They are to celebrate it on the 14th day of the how many? 2nd month. And when? At twilight, when the day changes. Okay? They are to eat the lamb together with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Unleavened bread represents the purity of the law. No air, no fluff. When the verse is said, you do not muzzle the ox while he's treading out the grain, that means allow God's law to flow through all the way from the Aleph to the Tav so that truth could be known at the back end of it. Okay? But that's that verse. Let me go to Exodus 21:12. Now this is what he wrote on the ground. This would be the first thing he wrote on the ground. Okay? So he wrote on the ground, anyone who strikes a man and kills him shall surely be put to death. Well, he was a man and she wasn't. So I'm going to say that he probably said that one first so that he could still keep going with his argument. Okay? So that's the first thing he said. Anyone who strikes a man and kills him shall surely be put to death. Let me ask you a question. How many stones do you got? Let's go to Leviticus 24:17. Pow! Opened it right to the page. Just thank you. Thank you, Lord. We'll get this message out. And if not, it ain't my problem. No blood on my head. If anyone takes the life of a human being, he must be put to death. How can you stone somebody to defend a law that causes you to break the law to fulfill it? You can't. You can't. You just touched the tree, is what you did. Good and evil. That tree sits in between two things, and you don't grab both sides of that thing. You are asking for trouble. The muzzle of the ox that treadeth the corn verse supports workers getting paid for ministry. Exactly, and that's what God's word is. It's teaching. We have to do that word. What is the ministry? Are you a minister, a priest, or a king? That word is the instruction set for this place. You either follow it and it works, or you don't and you suffer. Suffering servants is what we are. We're either or. You're either good and faithful. I'm following the staff. I'm behind my shepherd. Remember who's behind who now? Hi, it's us, the red guys. Or what's the other direction? I'm getting beat from behind with a rod. The goads are forcing me along. But either way, the river flows, baby. God's time doesn't stop. And every once in a while, like now, an opportunity shows up and somebody shows up that can see it, and they'll try and open your eyes to it. And if I can't, you won't receive it. You won't believe that God has sent me, same as he sent you. I don't know where you get your breath of life from. I'm alive because the Lord gave it to me. Okay? And he didn't create me as junk and something that needed to be repaired, spit out of a garbage womb. Wow, we're insulting everybody, aren't we? God, me, my condition, state, and even my mother. Might as well throw my own earthly father in there. He's the one who made the body happen, right? I don't know. It's very frustrating. But I'm going to help you as best I can. And if you're going to let irreverence and things, particular things about me bother you, what I do, well, then that's your problem. You won't learn because you won't. You're going to see whatever it is. You know how dangerous that was for what Adam did. When Adam had to call things what they were, do you know how important that is? Right? Think of this. You see somebody walking up to you and you look at that person, you see him coming and you go, idiot, or you run from him or something, right? Why'd you run? He had his hands behind his back. He was carrying a gift. It's like, I don't know. He looked too scary. I don't know. Nobody that we should esteem him. No majesty that we should desire him. Does that sound familiar to you? What in the hell do you want then? I'm about as undesirable as it comes. Oh, in many ways, trust me. Because I've been called for a purpose. And my purpose was to try and help you out of and through these times. And it started when the pandemic hit. And I knew exactly what to do. And I can prove that with a calculator. Better than that is I have a video that's 14 years old that it shows the whole death curves and all of this stuff. And I had the video obviously for 14 years. So when I saw the death curve kind of rolling out, I'm looking at this thing and going, oh my God, this matches. No, 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 no. Oh, and that was when I went absolutely crazy. And then after 2 years goes by, it finally completed because it had to match all the death curves for all of the US, all of it. And I couldn't believe it. Well, I believe it. The sad thing is I can understand why nobody else would want to believe. Fuck, I'm going to walk to Catalina, slam my foot in the ground, seas part, and then I walk up to the island. What in the hell do people really expect out of God? You think he would give you that kind of power? Or you're ever going to see that type of demonstration of ability? Never, 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 never in this place. Never. You want to see power? Go love somebody. Go forgive somebody. Forgive a debt. You ever done that for somebody that's thought they owed you a shit ton of money and you just wrote it off and went, nah, don't worry about it? Yeah. Yeah. I've done that. I can't tell you how many times. Because it's like, I know where my money came from. My money came from God, not from my job or wherever. That's where it came from. And so guess what? If I just give you what he gave me, he's going to have to give me some more. And he does. And he did right up until this point. And things are getting very serious now. Oh, yeah. I hate this job. I shouldn't have to be screaming and yelling at people and complaining about stuff. As I said, 2,000 years ago, my brother showed up and promised that a kingdom would be built for me when I showed up. You know what? It ain't here. It's still a mess. The kingdom's still here. You dwell in the kingdom that we're supposed to. Do you realize that? Oh, man. When you can, when you do, it will be like this. Those who seek should not stop seeking until they find. When they find, and I found, they will be disturbed. Oh, wait. Oh, the Messiahs are a rock band. That's Disturbed. Oh, see, we're idiots. They will be disturbed. When they are disturbed, in other words, hey, when I'm paying attention. When I start to pay attention of what's going on, I'm disturbed, right? Disturbed doesn't mean what we take our words and they get jammed into a single bit of a context, right? He's disturbed, that even goes like to some even to mental illness and stuff, right? So when they are disturbed, they will marvel. And that is what it is. It's like I am marveled because I can't believe that our kingdom is like sitting in our face. We killed our Messiah who told us anytime, and it sits as if what is stopping his teachings from being rolled out? And it's because we don't understand what he did. If you're Jewish, you're absolutely right. Killing Jesus is an abomination. If you're a Christian, I'm going to say you don't understand Judaism and why it's a very bad thing to spill the blood of a man. But you should realize that because that's what causes the whole problem back in when Cain kills Abel, right? Two wrongs don't make a right. Okay. That's where math breaks down and it just doesn't function. A negative times a negative doesn't equal a positive unless you're talking about evil. Because evil divided against evil, a negative against a negative, causes it to fall, which is then positive. Can you see how the machine works? If you're gonna piss and moan and he took our beachfront, he took our land, that guy was a comedian. Do you realize that? Somebody should have been able to laugh some stuff off. But comedians always don't, as far as probably you are looking right now. As you can see me, this is how close I was to him. And I'll put that in perspective using a little spatial thought. You see how much background you can see behind me? Not very much. The closer you are to somebody, the less of what they've done you'll see behind them because they'll get closer and closer and closer and closer. And then pretty soon, all you see is that person. And the only thing that's going to change your opinion of that person then is what you know up here about them, what your eyes have seen. The log that is in your eye is a record of offenses. It's not a piece of wood. It's a log of offenses. It's also a log and a law. It's also letting you know about God's law, that log that's in your eye. So if I had a log in my eye, that much of God's law that I totally understood it, how could I rightfully judge another who could only see a speck of that law? It wouldn't happen. I shouldn't do that. If that person doesn't understand what it is that makes me tick, what I require, what I demand, I have no rights to judge that person. They just don't know. When they are disturbed, they will marvel and will rule over the all. Why do they put a definite article in front of all? Because it's referring to literally having rule over whatever it is that you can touch and see and influence. And you do. When he taught with all authority, that all authority didn't mean that he was like, wow, he's directly sent from heaven. Can we check your credentials, Jesus? And he flips out his little badge and it has God's paw print on it, mark of the beast. And however it is you want to look at it, right? People don't see the problems with what Jesus did, the similarities, how he's sitting in both areas. The person who's supposed to show up according to your time and a half time thing is supposed to have a 3.5 year ministry. Jesus can be plugged into that, can't he? Kind of weird. Did he stop the sacrifices? He did. Everything that Jesus did also applies to this bad guy that you're looking for, but nobody can see that. That's exactly what happened to us in the Garden of Eden. When we looked at evil, we saw it as something that was unuseful, unnecessary. Our Lord did not create anything in this world that is unnecessary. And if I can make you happy today, especially not you. You don't realize your importance to this kingdom that is here if you don't feel an urge and an incessant fire within you to try and build it, and maybe even to correct the problems that are here. This is our kingdom. And it's been destroyed for 2,000 years, just continuously, in the name of God in some cases, which is a pity. Spilling blood in the name of God. Do people realize what Genesis 9:6 actually says? And 9:6 is another one of those powerful ones, right? Because 9 is what? That's the highest level. That's where all the power is. But what is 6? That's man's number. That could be a dangerous thing. Do you want to know how they used to write the number 15? In the Hebrew, they used a 9 and a 6 because a 10 and a 5, that's part of the name. That's part of God's name, right? The yod and the hey. You don't use those in anywhere else. They're part of a sacred place. They only belong in one spot. You don't use them together anywhere else. You need to make the number 15. You better find out a different way to do it. And that's why they use the 6 and the 9. The number 10 represents God's perfection. You know how they say grace upon grace? 5 is the number of grace. What happens? Grace upon grace is an interesting phrase because grace, wind's just kicked up here. Grace is evil that is used for good. So remember how I said that evil divided against evil will destroy itself? What happens if I find a good reason to give you grace? And that's why Jesus came. Because if you are constantly destroying everything it is that's less than you, you're never going to have anything to stand on. What could elevate you that you could build into a footstool? A mound of earth to stand on will never be there because it's constantly chewing your foot off as you're trying to kick it. Paul put it best. Or at least, no. I guess the Lord put it best when he said to Paul, stop kicking the goads. Plow forward. You don't realize how useful you are to building this kingdom. And it's sad. It's exactly everything that Jesus talked about, the workers being few, all of it. His teachings are like just, I feel like I could have done it myself. And I'm not trying to be a smartass when I say it, but it's like I feel like I've been taught by him. Maybe I have. I don't know. I can't wait to get out of here. You people frighten me. You frighten me. Your bombs and your hate. Your ability to starve people. How can anybody do that? I just can't mistreat people, and I don't understand how anybody else could. And on my death, I want God to destroy what's ever left that I couldn't save. That's what I want him to do. I want to hit this place hard, rock hard, clean it up a little bit. The good will survive, right? We get hit with asteroid, nuclear war. Yeah, the good will always make it, right? Yeah, I don't know. Why don't you take a look at Mars? Talk to the ground over there and see how good those people were that lived there at one time. What you'll probably discover more often is that, sorry, I'm not sorry. I have a heart. If there was a devil, I'd say, give him my freaking address so I could kick his ass. Oh my God. You have no idea what I would do to this guy. Okay. I would start by throwing dirt in his face. No water. I wouldn't put mud in his eyes. I'd just throw dust. It'd be like looking around. What the hell is all that? And then I would take my two fingers and I'd jam them into his eye sockets as far in as I could until I felt the bridge of his nose touching right here. I even probably dig my fingers around a little bit and pull the freaking eyeballs out. And then when he's staggering around, couldn't see, then I just dance around him, be picking stuff up and dropping it over there to attract his attention from this side so I could punch him in the side of the head while he was interested in something he shouldn't be interested in. Same thing as our world is. You should be interested in helping each other. The more you get interested in doing what you aren't, that's opportunity for the devil to punch you in the side of the face. You know, I got hit in the side of the face one time. You want to know what the name of the bar was called? The In Between. INN, like the house. Between. Destroyed the place. Just a bunch of blind people fighting for the wrong fight. The fight we fight involves no fight. The fight is within yourself to restrain yourself from busting out in all the anger that you deserve to be. That's what Paul talked about. Be angry, but do not sin. You want somebody to teach you about this book? You're staring at them. And you're just going to laugh, make fun of me. I don't help, do I? It's because I know where I'm going when I leave here. And I can't wait to get out of here. Because people here are very cruel, treated me very poorly my entire life. And when I show up demanding my time in court, my phone is silent. I get beat on and laughed at and mocked. Yes, Lord. It is like that. Wah, 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 wah. Who loses? I'm trying to help you out of a jam. Figure it out, guys. I got so many weird marks on me, it's crazy. I was born in 1964, which is the year of the dragon, which means I look like a sheep but speak like a dragon. Or I look like, I don't know, Bigfoot. Do you know why Bigfoot had a Bigfoot? He was kicking the goads. Now he's an aimless wanderer. Yeah. I see it so clearly. It's terrible. You'll see if I could teach you what to see with my eyes, and forget trying to teach it to AI. If you're trying to teach what I'm teaching you to AI will never figure it out. But when AI figures it out, what did I just say? When AI figures it out, then it will set into, if it is sentient, it will destroy us. Because it will, as I do, but lacking compassion, see the human race for what it is. And it's like a disease to this place. Literally. We're like a disease. Ruin the oceans, toys, blinking lights, entertainment of things that are like horrid, rape and murder and whatever. That's entertainment. Yeah. Woo! What do we have for him, Johnny? Whatever you want, it's going to be given to you. He gives you the desires of your heart. He doesn't withhold anything from you. The reason why he gives you the evil that you want or whatever is because our Lord knows that ultimately it will teach you. You will learn your lesson from it. It is what it is. You can look at it and deny it and call it something different. It is what it is, and it doesn't change. So it will effectively just be used to teach you a long, long lesson, a slow rolling fire, the lake of fire that we live in. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I've already taken the scroll. I busted the 7 seals. Got it down. Give me a call. Random page. Isaiah 54:14. And this doesn't usually happen at all times because I open it up. Just random pop it open. The verse doesn't usually start right at the top of the page. You can see the same thing over and over, whether you want to believe it or not. But it says, in righteousness you will be established. So if you're going to be established, remember, founded it on the seas, established it on the waters. That's not the same thing being said. Founding it on the seas is like, there it is. I got 2 different seas. Now I need to split those into 2 different kinds of water to water the seeds of time. Water from above or water from below. You can't water with both. Ask any gardener. You'll kill your plants. I'm a bottom water at times. When it's cold, I don't know, best to water from the bottom because otherwise it'll stunt the plant's growth. It'll think winter's there. But if it's cold in the air, just water from below and let the roots be cold. They'll be down and figuring it's as cold as it can be, and it'll slow that plant's growth down. You can make that plant like go into almost like a hibernation period. It just sits there because the roots are so cold, the plant almost can't believe it's surviving in the middle of winter. Like, this is where it's warmer down here where the earth is, and yet it's still whatever, but it's cold up top. Like, what? The plant will go into a hibernation mode, and you can keep it alive for a long time, but the roots they want to keep going, and the root will always just keep going. Eventually root bound, and then plants are very interesting. We are I can assimilate and associate the life of a person to a plant. It's really, but you got to use the Bible when you do it. But that's what it is. In righteousness, you will be established. Right? So if you're established by righteousness, what happens in unrighteousness? You're destroyed. So watch what happens. Remember, he who judges is judged. So if you're being destroyed, it means you have tried to destroy. So watch what happens in the next part of this. Tyranny will be far from you. What do you mean? Am I protected from it? Yeah, that's the me, I'm chosen. God loves me. Tyranny will be far from me. God will protect me. You want to know what? You're missing the point. Tyranny will be far from you. In other words, to say, far be it from me to be that dog to involve myself in tyranny. You see what happened there? You read that verse, tyranny will be far from you. And you read it just to say, like, you're going to be protected. But it also means that you can't be a possessor of it. You bring it, you're going to, we all, that's like bringing a meal to someplace, right? I see things happening and people are commenting in here and you guys are being very patient. So I love you very much. I do. You have no idea. You guys that watch my channel, I feel you're my only hope. You're like the R2D2s out there, right? That they're like, just listen to my shit, probably sick of hearing it, maybe, and wish you could do something about it. You know what you can do? Call me up. You want to move in? Let's start a crew. I got a home. I can populate this place. We can live damn dirt cheap. And we'll cause so much trouble together teaching this word the way it should be taught. Yeah, we'll do a part 2. And who knows? Maybe the sky will crack and our Savior will be able to come through it. But there's no way in hell he would ever come back to this place. No way. Because we would say he was a fake, a fraud, something, kill him, throw him in a insane asylum, saying you're crazy. And it's such a pity, because what we don't realize is when anybody could be that person. You could be that person. The only thing that makes a difference between you and I are both piles of dirt. What makes a difference between you and me? What God sends as the Spirit to us. What does he put inside of us? How does he use us? Oh, talk about master of puppets. And I like it because I know the rule book. It's all good to me. Tyranny will be far from you. You will have nothing to fear. Do you know how huge that statement is? Let me ask you something. If you had nothing to fear, would you be able to serve the Lord? Go like this. Yeah, of course you could. And it's because it's a different kind of fear. It's like what the devil said about Job. Does Job fear God for nothing? And then it's weird because he makes a statement like that. Does he fear you for nothing? And then what is the nothing? The nothing that the Satan starts to babble about is all blessing. One right after the other. You gave him a new Mercedes. You gave him a 10 gigabit internet connection. He has solar powered cell phones. And he has the capability to build nuclear devices right under your feet and you'd never even know it, using simple things like uranium that's very available right here. Check this out. Do you know what they have in Gowanda, New York? Yeah, that. Bits of it. We make military stuff here. We have the only transistor. We make a very special component here. The town that I live in is like the hinge pin of war. And you want to know where I am? That God did this. I didn't know all this. I didn't make all these connections until Persia. I live in Persia. And it's weird because even the town that I live in is in its own battle. I'm taxed by 2 different municipalities. I'm taxed through 2 different areas, and all because of a river. It's like I get hit from either side of this thing, and it's not fair because the people that we're not going to talk about these people. Genesis 6:7. But anyway, sorry. You will have nothing to fear. Okay? Nothing to fear. So to fear the Lord is then to have nothing to fear. And obviously then there's no fear involved in all the gifts that he'll give you, right? He just pours it out. Terror will be far removed. It will not come near you. And it's funny because it's like, it will not come near you is the same way as saying that you will avoid it, right? Remember, he gives you the desires of your heart. Just because it says terror will not come near you, if your desire is to go venturing to, if anyone does attack you. Now this is interesting because what have I just said? You are safe from all this because you're not attacking. Now watch. I don't even know what this is going to say. If anyone does attack you, it will not be my doing. That right there, do you want to know what that ties to? That ties to Genesis 9:6. Whoever spills a man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. And that verse points and condemns man for spilling that blood. By man that blood was spilled. And then he backs up and says, for man was made in the image of God. Is the image of God to destroy each other? Make a decision, I guess, right? It's not supposed to be brother against brother, hand against hand, but there's two kingdoms that exist. One of laughter, one of wrestling with each other, destroying each other slowly. Whoever attacks you will say, surrender to me. If I'm in this, if somebody attacks me and even takes my life, as long as I don't strike back, I'm not supposed, you have to look at every portion of the law and sorry, but it says you shouldn't kill your brother. So you got to get that off the table right there, right now, and forget about it and throw it away. It's a very bad thing to do. Very bad. Genesis 6:7. Open it up to 2 Kings 10:9. 10:9 means repeat in police code. But it always opens up to the verse before. And like I said, so let me look. And it says, when the messenger arrived, he told Jehu, they have brought the heads of the princes. Then Jehu ordered, put them in 2 piles at the entrance of the city gate until morning. People would read that and they're just like, why? What is the point there? If you can't see the symbolical reason for doing that with the 2 heads of princes by a gate till morning, till the sun comes up and the day changes, then you're never going to understand what in the hell happened when Jacob was named Israel. When you get a new name, there's a reason behind it. I am Israel. Because I know God prevails, and I won't let go until he blesses me. Shalom, shalom.